Welcome back to Newslink, Indiana. I'm Brittany Cullen here with your sports. The Muncie Fieldhouse is home to Muncie Central Sports, but now they have to find a new home until the repairs are done. The Muncie Fieldhouse took a big hit during the storm. Part of the roof caved in and water flooded the gym, leaving many Muncie residents upset.
The emotional attachment that a lot of people have to that particular building is tremendous.
This building has been around since 1928, and Muncie Central High School received more than 200 phone calls from people concerned about the building after the storm. Athletic Director Tom Loynes has his own history with the Fieldhouse.
I've been in Muncie for a long time. I went to Muncie Northside High School. We played our basketball games at the Fieldhouse. And so it's kind of an intimate thing to me because I have a history there myself.
Because of this damage, all events held at the Fieldhouse have to be moved.
The big thing, I mean, aside from the fact that it's a historical building and that we really want to get it back up and running as soon as possible, is just the logistics of moving everything out of there.
Instead of kids just having to travel across this parking lot, they now have to travel across town.
Once you made the schedule, transportation became a problem. And the transportation, we have 13 freshmen, and getting them across town is not an easy task.
This is the first week that practices have been held at Southside Middle School, and Muncie Central varsity girls basketball coach Ron Howell feels that the community is doing all it can to help.
Everyone's on the same team. We're all pulling in the same direction, and if people think that there's problems in Muncie, and there are some issues, there's no question about that, but I'm going to tell you what, teamwork is not an issue when it comes to something like this.
The boys basketball scrimmage will be held at Southside Middle School. The first game will also be at Southside due to all the damage. The Ball State men's basketball team tipped off their season last week. And if you take a look at the roster, you may notice that many of the players are from Indiana.
I mean, it's fun. Coach Witt obviously thrives on that. I think there's 8 Indiana All-Stars on the team. I could be wrong. We all kind of know each other, know of each other, I should say, just because we're from Indiana.
Zach Gunn is a freshman on the men's basketball team, and he liked coming to Ball State already knowing some of the players.
It's really cool. We all come here at Ball State, a school that people think of Indiana basketball. You don't really think of Ball State, but hopefully, with the guys on the roster, we can change that.
Coach James Whitford thinks highly of Indiana basketball, and he believes it's important to have a strong Indiana representation on his team.
There's so much good basketball played here, and one of the things that's always fun for me is in Indiana is you can go to, the biggest city, Indianapolis, or you can go to the smallest city in Indiana, and they know basketball both places.
With many of the players being from Indiana, it allows their families to support them at home games.
We haven't had a home game yet, but I know they'll make the trip. They came to Dayton, and then, they enjoy it, so I'm sure they'll be at every home game they can and games they can go to.
And Coach Whitford hopes to make it worth their while.
I like where we're at, and I'm excited about, I think the possibilities for this year, and I think where we could be.
Tonight, the men's basketball team is playing at University of Oklahoma, and on Friday, they will be back in Worthen to take on the Stony Brook Seawolves. Tomorrow night, Ball State football will be back at Schumann Stadium to take on Buffalo in one of the last games of the season. Although the season hasn't turned out the way they wanted to, it did give a lot of the younger players a chance to play and kind of show off their skills. So are you guys planning on going to the game tomorrow?
I might have some other plans, but we're rooting them on regardless,
Might be a little chilly.
Yeah, it might be cold, but always got to root for those Cardinals.
Right. Go Cards.
All right, thanks,
thank
Brittany.
you so much, Brittany. Well, a Ball State student was able to meet a high-profile celebrity coming up.
And how a musical brought more than just laughter to the Muncie community. That's after the break.